Think we are live. Welcome everybody back to Coy Sports Corner. It is Coy here with my main man, my co-host, former University of Nebraska offensive lineman. Yes, people, he played at a high level. It is none other than Big Dog Todd Peterson. Welcome to the show, Todd. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How you doing, Coy?
Man, I can't complain, man. And if I was, nobody would be listening, as you would
You
say.
got one person that'll listen. That's the person that lay next to you at night. Your wife always listens. Now she may not respond, but she gonna listen.
Very true. Very true. Very true. Can't say nothing about that, man. How you doing, man? Very uh, busy weekend, right?
Man,
You're on the go a little bit.
I'm coming into Monday afternoon on a high horse. Long weekend. We weren't able to get any content out to you guys Saturday night, and then last night just due to the Chiefs game. But not only that, but I had a long weekend. My daughter's team. If you guys ever see anything from softball, travel softball in the state of Florida, her team is called AFA, Altamont Fast Pitch Academy. This is their first season moving up to 14U, and they've had four tournaments this season. One that got rained out. Three of the four, they placed two, second, and one, and they placed first yesterday. So shout out to Altamont Fast Pitch Academy. These girls are doing their things, man. These girls are doing their thing.
Hey, man. Listen, from one girl dad to another,
I love being a girl dad. I
same,
love it. I love it.
same.
Good. Good.
Yes, yes, man. My wife said earlier today, I left out the car to go get something out the store or something. And she said, baby, every time you leave out the car when you go with us somewhere, your daughter, not your son, but your daughter, get a little crazy. I don't know what it is. She started to whining a little bit. She started a little
Yeah.
whimpering a little bit. It's like she know daddy gone. She just
Yep.
knows she don't know why daddy gone, but she know daddy is gone right now. So
Yeah, man. And
warms
that's the
my
thing,
heart.
man. Man, shout out to everybody that's a girl dad out there, man. It's so important to have active fathers in little girls' lives. I mean, that's a huge makeup, not only of their personality, but the vision that they have for a man. It's a huge makeup for them. So shout out to all you girl dads out there that's doing your thing.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Hey guys, I know you guys are probably saying out there, wow, you guys gonna review, you guys gonna do it. We gotta get our families out the way because they are the ones that make us run. They are the ones that make us go and keep us
Yeah,
going. So
absolutely right.
we gotta give them their due diligence every single time. And on this space
Definitely.
and on this platform, since the good Lord blessed me with this particular platform, I plan to do so every time. So absolutely.
Definitely.
Absolutely. All right, so moving on to the NFL. Oh, I think I know what's going on here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, cool. I think I needed to turn the volume down on my regular phone so that way it's not such a loud echo in the back. So I think that fixed
Okay.
it. Hopefully it did. Um, we gotta talk about hot topics. We're gonna review a lot of the games, guys, but we gotta start in Dallas.
Mm.
Dallas Cowboys lose big last week to the New Orleans Saints. They come back home to face the Baltimore Ravens, who had lost their first two games of the season. And we expected the Cowboys to respond and win their home opener, but they did
Hmm.
not.
No, they
They
didn't.
were down 28-6 going into the third quarter. I think maybe going even to the fourth. They were down 28-6. They made it a game,
Hmm.
28-25,
Hmm.
but it was too little too late. And I, for one, some people say it's too early to get nervous. When you're playing in that division where the Giants look like they're trying to be something, you
And
know.
not only
Yeah.
that, but the Commanders just scored again on the Monday Night Football game. The Commanders are up right now, if I'm not mistaken, it's 27-13 against the Bengals. So that division is a lot tougher than we gave it credit for beginning the season. So even the Commanders are coming alive. So is it time to press the panic button for the Dallas Cowboys? I
Mm.
say yes, especially when you have the arguing going on the sideline with Michael
Mm.
Parsons and between CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott. When you have teammates starting to argue, that locker room is slowly slipping away. And we starting
Mm.
to see arguments like that at the early part of the season. It's
Yeah,
gonna
that's
be
kind of
it's gonna
thing.
be a quick season for them.
Oh wow, I didn't
Yeah,
know that Michael Parsons and CeeDee Lamb and Dak were, they had instances of those, coming
it
into
wasn't
the.
all three together. It's just Michael Parsons had his own issue with the other defenders, and CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott had a couple words that had changed on the sideline. But whenever,
Oh,
like I say, whenever you have that going on the sideline, man, it can't be a good makeup for a great season. And with everybody else that's showing up in their division right now, the Dallas better do something really quick. The Cowboys better do something really quick just to get this thing back re-railed on the right railroad if they're looking to make it to the playoffs and making any kind of noise in the playoffs.
um, do you think they will get off the schneid? Do you think possibly against the Giants? I think they play on Thursday night football against the
They play on
Giants.
Thursday night football. If they beat the Giants, it's still going to be a close game because the Giants are pretty good. And that number one that the Giants have, that rookie, they're finally starting to draw up plays for him.
That
That's going
wide
to be a
receiver,
difficult game. Yes,
Neighbors.
yes,
Whew!
yes.
He looks
They
good.
are finally starting to get this kid activated in the offense, and he's making some noise. And with the way that the Cowboys looked yesterday, the Cowboys couldn't stop the run. Baltimore only threw the ball 15 times out of 60 plays.
Wow.
45 of the 60 plays were run plays. So,
Wow. That means they
yeah,
crammed the ball down their throat then.
they just ran the ball down their throat.
I mean, you got
Lamar,
King Henry, so.
yes, and Lamar Jackson was 12 for 15 in that game.
Oh, oh, wow.
And
Pretty
they won
accurate.
and they won handily. I don't even think it would have been a game coming down to it. I think the Cowboys made a couple late scores that made it interesting, but to
Yeah.
actually threaten to win that game, no, it was never a threat because even if Baltimore didn't make that fourth down, Dallas still had to kick a field goal to tie the game. So there's no saying that they would have ever made it in field goal range to even kick a field goal. They had less than 2 minutes left. So, the score looked a little bit different than the game actually was played out.
Sometimes the final score can be very deceiving to
It can
how the
be.
way the game was played,
It can be.
if you
Yeah.
watch.
But Dallas clearly got dominated in that game. And it was all with the run game. Derrick Henry ended up with 154 yards rushing and
Wow.
2 touchdowns. So
Wow.
we're gonna see, man. We're gonna see. It's a long season. We're going into the week 4 next week. It's a long season, but Dallas got to do a lot of things in a hurry to right this ship.
I must agree with you. I do think it's time to panic as well. Given all the reasons you gave,
Hmm.
but also Jerry Jones did not give Mike McCarthy a new contract in the offseason.
That's
This is his
Jerry Jones.
last year. This is
That's
his
Jerry.
technically his last year.
But
So,
the man that he would have really wanted to go after is now the head coach of the Commanders.
oh really? Against
Yeah,
the D
the
coordinator that was in Dallas.
the defensive coordinator from last year. If he were ever going to do anything, he should have done it last year because he's the
Yeah,
guy that should be the head coach right now for the Dallas Cowboys. But he let him slip away and let him go to the Commanders. With the coordinators that he hired up under him, the Commanders are turning that ship around, and the Commanders are going to be pretty good. Jaden Daniels is on fire. They got a good running game, got a good offensive line, they got a great defensive line. The
yeah, they
Commanders
do.
are turning things around. So
Yeah, they
Dallas
do.
is in an uphill battle right now.
Interesting. Wow. Well, let's see what happened to the Cowboys because Jerry Jones gonna be running his mouth. The more they lose, he's just gonna be running his mouth all over the place on his morning shows. So
You're right.
I'm pretty sure we're gonna be seeing a lot of Jerry Jones here. Um, let's move over to my team,
Mhm.
49ers. Blow a 10-point lead In the last 5 to 8 minutes of the game, it was something like that. I know we were up by 10 and it was only like 6 minutes left in the damn game. And
Mm-hmm.
we end up losing the game. You don't underestimate a division opponent.
Never.
They know you.
Yes.
They might be getting their ass kicked. Excuse my language, people out there, but they might be getting their butt kicked out there for a little bit. But they're gonna
Mm-hmm.
stick around and stick around. And if they can stick around, they're gonna make a run for it. And that's exactly what the Rams did. They stuck around and stuck around. They didn't get it more than 10. They didn't go down by more than 10. And then boom. It was
Yep.
like,
You know what
wow.
happened in that game? In that game, at halftime, McVay and his defensive staff got together. It was only one person that they had to stop. That was Jennings. Jennings ended up with 175 yards receiving and 3 touchdowns last night. Once they
Yeah.
figured out how to play Jennings, that took everything away from San Fran
Yeah.
because San Fran is so hurt right now. They were limited on everything that they could do because of the injuries. But once they
Brandon,
took
now
away
you got to
Jennings,
step it up. I don't mean to. I'm sorry to cut you in. I'm sorry. He just got, if I'm not mistaken, he just got a contract. He was complaining about how they was holding around and holding him out and wasn't get paying him his damn money. They paid him his damn money right as the season started. And I've watched all the highlights, every single 49er highlight. He's been for getting that money. And especially with Debo being out,
yeah,
you got to step it up. Deron Jennings is looking like Debo Samuel, while Debo Samuel, that when Brandon Ayuk is the one who got paid and should be looking like Debo Samuel while Debo Samuel is out. And he is not. Very
I don't
disappointing.
I don't think many sports fans realize the significance of a player holding out because I think that's exactly what IU is going through right now. Because of the time that he held out, he wasn't practicing, of course,
Yep.
because he's waiting on his contract. That preseason and those camps are so detrimental to a player and to a player quarterback, especially a wide receiver and a quarterback. That's when you really form your chemistry. So right now, him and Brock Purdy don't have that same chemistry from last season because he held out. Him holding out definitely cost the team and cost him. But I also think San Fran should have made that decision before even coming into the offseason to pay him. He is one of the top
Right.
receivers in the league. And not only
Right.
that, just to keep your structure together, you got to
Yeah.
pay this young man so this man shows up at camp. So by the time game one starts in week one, everybody's
Yeah.
hitting on all cylinders, barring any injury. They weren't able to do that with IU. So this is his preseason. We're 3 weeks in right now. This is his
That's
preseason.
basically, yeah. Yeah.
So now
Yeah.
we're gonna see what he does going forward.
When I seen at the end of last season and coming into this year, how he was going on shows about how he hadn't gotten paid yet, he hadn't gotten paid. I said, "Oh crap!" I said,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh boy!" I said, "If they don't sign him before mini camp is over, like the mini camps
Mm-hmm.
in July and stuff is over,
Yep.
he's gonna miss all of that time with Purdy and progressing more in their camaraderie and their
Yeah.
their bandwidth, together with, like being on the
Mm-hmm.
same page. So I just
Yeah.
feel like our organization let us down with IU, and now IU in return is showing what happens when you don't have a preseason with your
Mm-hmm.
team. When you don't have, like you said, the mini camps and all of that. It's showing, and it's so disappointing. There is no way we should have lost to Minnesota. I don't care if it was on the road or not. No way we should have lost to Minnesota. Don't get me wrong,
But
Minnesota is looking for real. They
yeah,
looking for real.
I was gonna say, but Minnesota's 3-0,
Yeah.
and they
And
just
they
beat the
beat us
Texans.
in Houston.
Yes, and they beat the Texans yesterday. So don't turn your nose down at Minnesota now.
Yeah, I was gonna yeah, let's get done with my 49ers because I'm just kind of annoyed that that we're 1-2 when we got the Arizona Cardinals playing competitive. Yeah, they lost to the Lions. Yeah, Kyler Murray had a few bonehead plays, but
Mhm.
they're playing competitive. The Seahawks are undefeated, if I'm not mistaken. So
Yes.
it's kind of like We ain't got much room. We really don't. We already 2 games down in the division, and it's only week 3. That ain't
And
good.
McCaffrey had to go abroad to try to find some help with his Achilles tendon. So he's in a totally different country right now, exploring every option he has to try to get back healthy. Because
I
right now,
love.
yeah, I think he's rushing it, trying to go to the different countries and trying to find somebody that's going to help him. But McCaffrey's also been one of those backs that has never really been healthy for a full season. So
Right?
to where if he ever were, we'd be talking about McCaffrey being in the top 3 of greatest backs ever.
Yeah. He can't stay
Greatest
healthy.
backs ever. He can't stay
He
healthy.
cannot stay. He couldn't stay healthy in Carolina. He ain't been able
Nope.
to stay healthy in San Fran. It's like he's so good when he's good and he's healthy. He is like it's
Mhm.
like oh my boy, that boy got wiggle. He
Yeah.
got wiggle.
Yeah.
But
So
it's sad when you
San
can't see
Fran,
the wiggle too often.
yeah, San Fran's in a turmoil right now, man, with the injuries and everything else they got going on, with the holdouts by Ayuk, and he's finally back, but he's still not contributing. Uh, San Fran's in trouble in that division.
I'll end with this. I agree. All right, let's move over to we're speaking about the Minnesota Vikings and how my 49ers should not have lost to them. They end up blowing out the Houston Texans at home in Minnesota. Nobody seen it coming. Minnesota was the heavy underdog, even
Hmm.
though they were at home against the Texans, but they
Hmm.
showed out. Brian Flores, that deep coordinator, he is out for vengeance. He is out to say, look at me. Even if y'all don't want to mention my name because of what I said before, look at me. And I'm going to force y'all to look at me and what we're doing over here in Minnesota because we've beaten household name teams that were in playoffs last year. One was in a Super Bowl last year. And we doing it with Sam Donald,
And
a
we're
kind
doing
of
it
a
with Sam
journeyman
Darnold.
quarterback now, even though he was the number 1 overall pick, kind of a journeyman quarterback. So it's kind of like they're looking good. What do you got to say
Yes.
about Minnesota?
The one thing I'm gonna say about Minnesota is Sam Darnold's looking great. But the thing about Sam Darnold and comparing him to Kirk Cousins, who was there last year, Sam Darnold takes a little bit more, a few more chances than Kirk Cousins takes,
Yeah,
and
he
those
does.
chances are paying off.
Yeah, he does.
Those chances are paying off. And Brian Flores, like you said, is the second best defensive coordinator in the NFL right now. The second best. Because the things that he's dialing up against these superior teams,
Yeah,
it's amazing. And my hat goes off to that guy because he's been slated for so long, especially with what went on in Miami. He should have
yeah,
deserved that head coaching job and should still have it to this day. But
yeah.
how everything turned out, he's showing the world right now that his defensive mind,
Whew.
especially in the division that he's playing, and given the opponents that he's played in the first 3 weeks, he's showing out.
Yeah, man. He
He's
can't
showing out.
because
Good job, Brian Flores. He's showing out.
absolutely, absolutely. And I'll just piggyback on one last little thing. The reason why he is so good, in my opinion, because you say, yeah, well, the Vikings went 3-0, but I mean they did beat the Giants in the first week. The Giants beat the Browns, who were the heavy, heavy, heavy favorite against that defense. So the Giants, even though they lost in that first game of the season, they
Hmm.
were not the bottom feeder that we all expected them to be. They're playing competitive these last 2 games against the Commanders. They lost by a field goal or so against the Commanders last
Yep.
week, and then this. So I mean, they're playing tough, the Giants. So when you look at the Vikings' 3 wins, you really do have to look back and say,
Man, those are three
they
quality
might be for
wins.
real.
Those are three quality wins. Not only did you beat
Yes.
the team out of the NFC who represented in the Super Bowl last season, but you also beat one of the up and coming teams in the AFC who they think can challenge Kansas City and be in the AFC Championship this year. Those are three quality wins. Even though everybody downplays the Giants or what have you, those are still three quality wins.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I could not agree more. Their defense, but not only their defense, their offense. It's one thing to win these last three games 13 to 10, 17-14,
Mm.
21-17. No, they're
Yeah.
not putting up points.
Yes.
Justin Jefferson, JJ.
Yes. Yes. But like I say, with Sam Darnold, the difference between him and Kirk Cousins is a conservative quarterback. He's gonna take what he knows is there. He's not gonna take many chances. Sam
Right.
Darnold, what does he have to lose? What does he have to lose? And when you got a guy running routes for you like Jefferson, you tend to take more chances than you normally would.
Absolutely.
And you trust that wide receiver. And that's why they're playing so well on offense.
That's what's
Sam
up.
Darnold has nothing to lose. He was a number
No,
one overall draft pick, did his time with the Jets, did his time in Carolina, never became a starter. Now he has nothing to lose.
playing with house money.
Playing with house money. So why not go out there and take chances? Why not do the extra? Why not look for the extra? Why not throw this pass when I got number 18 on the other end who can catch anything that's within 5 yards of him?
I love JJ. I ain't gonna
So do
lie.
I.
If he
So
ever
do
got
I.
free, we could ever get JJ. Woo,
Well, you know,
man,
you guys tried to pursue him in the offseason.
man, I wish we would
But
have got.
man, Minnesota's not gonna move that kid. That's like Randy Moss. That's like
I
Randy
think
Moss
they're paying him
2.0.
as a what? I think they're paying him as a wide receiver like 35 mil, right?
And it was after his second year, which you don't go into negotiations after your rookie contract until your third year. They went ahead and
Right.
paid that man and put money out there and let him know, no, we ain't letting you go nowhere.
Oh, and they started negotiating in the second?
In the second year, they ain't letting him go nowhere.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
they're like, nah, we ain't gonna slip up on this guy. Nah.
yes.
We got our Jerry Rice. We
And
got
they
our
set
Tito.
and they set the bar with him.
Yeah,
He's
he's
the
decent.
highest paid wide receiver in the league right now. They
Yeah,
set the bar. And that's what's going on with Chase in Cincinnati. Chase wants to get paid more than him.
but he's dealing with a team that's so cheap.
Exactly.
They're historically known to be very cheap. Very cheap.
Historically. Historically known to
Never
be
paying
very
really
cheap.
anybody. I think the
Exactly.
only wide receiver that I can remember them paying a little money to was Ocho Cinco.
And they didn't
That
even
was
pay
the
him like that because that's why he ended up leaving, going to New England.
yeah. I'm just saying he's the only one that I can recall got somewhat of a
Yeah.
contract from him. Like I think 40 or 50 million, but at that time that was okay. That was like 08, 09. So that was okay. But even still, like Ocho Cinco was worth back then. Ocho
Yes.
Cinco was worth 70, 80 million dollar contract.
Yes.
So that
Yep.
goes to show you about the Bengals. So yeah,
Yep.
I can completely agree with you. Let's move over to another surprising game. The Broncos go into Tampa and shock. I'm gonna say shock, shell shock the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What did you think about Bo Nix and the Broncos defense yesterday?
I never doubted the Broncos defense. I knew coming into this season, the Broncos, if they didn't have anything, they were going to be able to play defense. But Bo Nix turned into a pro on Sunday.
Didn't he?
He
Whew.
turned into a pro on Sunday. He finally caught up to the speed of the game.
That's what I thought.
And I contribute as much as I don't like Sean Payton. I contributed a lot of that to Sean Payton because he's caught him up to the speed
Yeah.
of the game. But that was the struggles that he had in the first 2 weeks. He wasn't used to the speed of the game. He wasn't used to the reads to happen so fast. He wasn't used to the defensive ends that run just as quick as he is. But Sean Payton came up with a game plan for him against the Bucks, who were hot in Tampa
Yes.
and got embarrassed.
They had just beat the Lions last week in
They just beat the
Detroit.
Lions in Detroit.
So
In
who would have
Detroit.
thought that they would have came back and had a letdown like that in Tampa? You didn't think
Mm,
that? No, not many would. At
no.
least not to Denver. At
At
least
least
not
not to
to the
Denver.
Broncos.
Yes, at least not to
Because
Denver. I could have seen them losing to the Saints. I could have even seen them losing to the Falcons. I can't
yeah,
see them losing to Carolina, but the Broncos,
I ain't see that. No,
I don't
I
think
picked the
anybody did.
Broncos. I picked the Broncos because I looked at everybody and everybody said in the football pool, everybody said Tampa. I'm
Yeah,
like, you know what? My gut tells me since everybody's picking Tampa, my gut is saying go with Denver. Coy,
and you
just
know what?
go with Denver.
That's why I was saying in the pool, I wanted to see your picks first because that's a creative, that's an advantage that you have. You get to see everybody's picks before you make yours. That's a competitive
Okay,
advantage.
that's true. But I mean, I only won the pool 3 times last year out of 17 games. So
Oh
I'm not
wow.
I'm not too good. I'm not too good at all. I mean, I'm not as
Yeah,
good as I would like to be, that's for sure. But that's what
yeah,
happens with House, you know. You're trying to beat
yeah,
House, you know what I mean? And
yeah,
Javi's beat House once, Houston's beat House once.
yeah,
I
yeah, you're
split with
right.
Javi in week 2. So
Yeah.
uh, yeah. It was a letdown. Kyler Murray let me down, man. Kyler Murray let me down, and Bijan Robinson should have gave the ball to Al Jazeera. I don't know why they gave the ball to Bijan Robinson for that 4th and inches. That was so disappointing. Or it's like Cousins. It was 4th and inches on like the 5 or 6 yard line. Could you not have just leaned forward for those inches, Kirk? Damn, when I seen the play we ran, when I seen the play the Falcons ran, I was like, oh damn.
I was surprised.
I knew
I was
then that we
Yeah,
go
I
ahead, I'm
was
sorry.
surprised to see them try to get around the corner. Nobody's been able to beat us around the corner at all this season. No one. If you're going to do any kind of damage, you want to run the ball straight up the middle, and then you want to send your guards up to block our linebackers. I was surprised at the play call, but I wasn't surprised at the results because I know the defenders that we have, and I know what kind of football we play. But even speaking of, and I know this may be off topic a little bit, but even speaking of the Chiefs, our offense still hasn't gotten going. So for us to beat these quality teams that we've beaten in the first 3 weeks of the season with our offense still not clicking, we are a championship team. That's how championship teams play.
Yeah. They win
Our
games at
defense
their
is
yeah. Go
exactly
ahead.
our defense is carrying us right now.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
as a Chiefs fan, I accept that because to win a championship, you got to be great on all three assets of the football game: special teams, offense, and defense. So I'll accept that right now because everybody knows in the game of football what's last to come on the board and what's last to get going when it comes to the start of the season is the offense. Defense comes out because you only got to pin your ears back at the defense and go do what you want to do, what you're supposed to do. Sack the quarterback, stop the run, cover everybody downfield. The offense is the last to get going when it comes to a brand new season. We're gonna be okay.
Nah, I agree. I did see something that was a little bit alarming to me. Obviously, I'm not a Chiefs fan, but I respect Pat Mahomes. Um, they are scoring a lot of field goals in the red zone. I'm
Mhm.
just saying because you are the Kansas City Chiefs and you got that great stout defense. You're lucky enough that they clean it. You know, they bail you out. They clean it up for you when you boo boo on yourself and stuff and you kick a field goal. But that later on in the season, if against the really, 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 really good teams, you might get caught. I'm saying you might not, but you might get caught slipping
We
later in the
can.
season.
We can.
But
It's a
hopefully,
possibility.
hopefully you have that straightened out by then.
Yeah,
Hopefully, but I'm just saying. I observed that though. I did
we
observe
can.
that.
But you know what? As great a coach as Andy Reid is, man, when it comes down to the playoffs, this man draws up so many different plays that everything that you see in the red zone and everything that you see in a third and short, you probably never seen all season from us.
Yeah, very true.
We were
Very
not the
true.
best. We were not the best team in the playoffs last season, but we ended up walking away with the championship. That comes from coaching. That
I
comes from
agree.
coaching. When you don't have the best athlete on the field, now you have to have the best mind on the sideline, and it becomes a coaching game. And right now, we got the best mind on the sideline in the NFL, and that's between offense and defense.
I froze up there for a second. Froze up there for a second. We're gonna let him finish his thought. Go ahead, Todd. You had froze up there for a second.
Okay, right now we got the best in the business, offensive and defensive. We got Steve Spagnuolo, who's the best defensive coordinator in the league, and we got Andy Reid that's drawing up plays on the other side. He's going to go down as the greatest coach ever.
Whoa.
He's going to go down as the greatest coach ever. We're going to be the
We're
first
gonna go
team.
back. We're gonna come back to that. That's gonna be a topic there. We're gonna come back to
Yes,
that.
yes.
But yeah, go ahead. Yeah, we're gonna
That'll
come
be
back to that
that'll be
one.
a topic on the next show. But I don't even want to come forward. I don't even want to go forward to it because I want to talk about it on the next show.
Sounds good. Fair enough. Fair enough. We'll save that for Thursday, ladies and gentlemen. We'll
Yes, we
save that
will.
for Thursday, preferably. But because I got some thoughts on that.
The whole world does, so
Uh,
I'm anxious to hear him.
but I love. Don't get me wrong. I love Big Red too. Now I
Hmm.
always loved Andy Reid. I always never had a problem with Andy. Even when he was in Philly, I mean, I always loved Andy Reid because all the players seem like they always truly loved him.
Yes.
Like they always truly
Yeah.
loved him. That speaks volumes to me when the players
Hmm.
are the way they are with you.
Hmm.
That lets me know that you are more than an X and O type of coach.
Hmm.
They like you.
Yes.
It's a difference. They'll do their job for their coach, but they'll run through a big brick wall for somebody that they actually really like
Yep.
and
You're
really
absolutely
thinks they
right.
care about them.
Yep. You're right.
So I really see that with Andy Reid. I never heard a bad word from a player concerning Andy Reid. Never heard a bad word. So that lets me know a lot as well. I mean, T.O., but he was going through a little BS, his little BS mode back in that season. So I remember that with the Eagles. So,
Yeah.
you know. But uh, we didn't speak another surprising win. Let's move on over to the back to the AFC in Cleveland.
Mhm.
Deshaun Watson got the first ever fully guaranteed contract by a quarterback. Not saying that he didn't deserve it based on what he had did in Houston for some years. He did decent. He was decent enough quarterback in Houston.
Mhm.
But he's been in Cleveland. There's been 3 games into his first full season.
Mhm.
And is it just me? Or does he run right into the rush as opposed to moving up in the pocket? It's like he moves to the left
Mhm.
or to the right, right into the rush, and it just looks out of sorts.
You know
What
what?
do you say about Deshaun Watson and the Cleveland Browns and where they're going?
I think Deshaun is going to be okay. I think the Cleveland Browns are going to be okay, barring injury. The thing that I think about Deshaun Watson is the same thing I actually thought about Aaron Rodgers. When you're away from the game for a complete year, and then you got to work your way back into the game, then everything comes a little bit slower to you because you got to get adapted to the speed of the game. And Rodgers just has been playing for so much longer than Deshaun Watson. It came easy for him. It came quick to him. But I do think by say week 6, Deshaun Watson is going to be clicking on all cylinders because he missed a complete year last year. And so him to come back this year and only have a little bit of preseason play, the game is still fast for him. The game is going to start slowing down for him because he's a professional. So as soon as he get adapted to the game and mentally that game starts slowing down to him, then we're going to see the Deshaun that we saw in Houston. Because I think he's a lot older now, a lot more mature, and he has a lot better teams around him. So right now it's just coming down to trusting himself and seeing the game at the speed that he just needs to see it at. He's not seeing the game at the speed he needs to see it right now, and that's the lack that they have on offense and the running game. You don't have Nick Chubb back there anymore. Nick Chubb is still out on injury from last season. Yeah, you got Jerome, who's a good back, but Nick Chubb is a great back. When you think about Cleveland, Cleveland survived off the run last year.
Yes.
Joe Flacco was so
So
strong because he had a running game. They don't have a
yeah.
running game right now.
Uh, I don't know. I'll push back a little bit. Yeah, I will because I've watched the games. I've
Mhm.
been watching. He did play some games last year, so last year was not the year that he sat out the entire year. It was the
Mhm.
year before
Okay,
that
gotcha.
he sat out the entire year. But to your point, he still even when he got the games that he did play, he had missed 11 games into that season. He was suspended for 11 games.
Hmm.
So he still didn't even have a half of the season last year. So it's still coming a little bit slow. But it watching him, it's like he seems like He's lost his mojo. From when I seen Deshaun Watson, I don't know if he'll be able to ever get that back. The way he looked in Houston,
Mm-hmm.
I'll go out on a limb right now and say I don't think he will ever get back to that status that he was in Houston. I don't think so. He's got a good O line. He's got great receivers. He don't got a good running back right now. He's got an okay running back, but he don't got a great running back right now.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot more onus is on him to get the offense rolling.
Mm-hmm.
I personally, 6 games into the season, 12 games into the again, I always say this, people. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't see him getting back even close to where he was in Houston, or ultimately getting back to where he was in Houston. I don't see it. I don't see it. I have to be honest. I don't see it with Deshaun.
Only thing that'll stop us from seeing whether you're right or whether I'm right is an injury. So we got a lot of season left. Barring injury, we're going to see where he ends at the end of the season. Because if he ends at the end of the season, like you're saying, then I think they need to move on from Deshaun Watson as of next year. But if he's going to do what I think he's going to do, I think they may be okay.
Okay. All right. A little disagreement there, people, but hey, that's why we do the show.
That's what
You
it's
know,
for.
this is not an agreement show. This is a analysis show. So sometimes my analysis is a little bit different from TP. So
Yes.
that's all well and good, bro. It's all well and good. All right. I won't say a surprising game. I won't say a surprising game, but from the result of that game, it had me saying Justin Fields should be the starter of the Pittsburgh Steelers after they took care of the Chargers. Um, Even though Herbert got hurt,
Mm-hmm.
Herbert did get hurt, which he's starting to seem like he's a little fragile to me. He's starting to seem like he can't stay healthy now. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but it's like the third season or something like that to where it seems like he's had an injury. He's been out for a few games. It's like if you can do 16, 17 games, you can have a whole season, Herbert, to where you ain't sitting out that last game for injury. You're sitting out that last game of the regular season because y'all are like the number one, number two seed. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but you need to play a full season before I can believe in the Chargers moving forward. I'm just gonna put that out there. But Justin Fields, you can say, well, he didn't score a lot of points for it. It ain't like he lit it up. He's been the consummate quarterback, the consummate professional. He's keeping it away from the other team for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
He's not fumbling the ball. He's not doing any of that stuff. So it's like he's taking care of the ball and they're winning. In the NFL, the name of the game is to win.
To
You win
win.
by one, you win by 31. You won.
It's still a
That's
W.
the game. That's the NFL.
You're right.
So for me and my money, and my money does look good in my pocket. So for me and my money, Justin Fields, if I'm the Pittsburgh Steelers, Russell Wilson, we respect you as a vet. If anything goes awry, we're gonna put you in there. No, don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
But while this kid is rolling, we're not gonna stop him from rolling just because you're healthy. They gotta keep Justin Fields as a starter. What do you think?
I hate to use the term game manager because you still have to make plays, whether you're a quarterback, tight end, or what have you. But we use the term game manager.
Gentlemen, give us a second there. And just Todd.
Okay, we use the term game manager, and it almost sounds like an insult nowadays. Justin Fields is not only managing the game, but he's playing according to the speed of the game. So everything that he's
More
doing,
time. Hey, Todd froze up, guys. Let's let him start over so you guys can hear his full thought. Go ahead, Todd. I'm sorry about that.
okay, like I was saying, Justin Fields is playing not only to the speed of the game, but he's seeing the speed of the game as it's coming to him, and he's making plays accordingly. Justin Fields was the answer for the Pittsburgh Steelers
Mm.
because, as we know, Pittsburgh always has a dominant defense, which is one reason while Tomlin has never gone less than 500 in the season. He's always been able to put a good product out there on the field when it comes to defense. Now, when you have a mobile quarterback, the last time he had a mobile quarterback in Ben Roethlisberger, look what he did. Now he has
Two
the
Super
same two Super Bowls. Now he has the same type quarterback, but a little bit more athletic. So now when he drops back for a 5-step drop, if it's not there, he can make plays with his feet. Justin Fields was the answer for to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I would not be surprised if the Pittsburgh Steelers did not win this division. Look at them right
Wait a
now.
minute.
Look at them right
Wait a
now.
minute.
Hold on, let me tell you. Cleveland 1-2. Cincinnati going into this game tonight as they're losing 0-2. After yesterday, Baltimore 1-2. The Pittsburgh Steelers are 3-0. And their defense ain't slowing down. And Justin Fields is playing according to the speed of the game. You don't want to reroute that ship when you got something that you come out and every game has been competitive, but they've looked dominant, especially on the defensive side in every game. And Justin Fields has gotten you the dub as that starting quarterback. You cannot derail that train at this point. Now I can see if you went on a 2-game losing streak and Justin Fields not seeing the game as he should, and he's making terrible mistakes. But right now he's not making any mistakes. And he's managing the game accordingly. And their defense has his back.
Wow. Uh, no, I can't disagree with anything you just said there. I think you're spot on with your
Mhm.
analysis there with the Steelers and what they're doing, their defense, their coaching. I think all of that. I couldn't have said it better, so I'm not gonna say anything else. But I definitely want Justin Fields to show the Chicago Bears that when you just give me a little bit of help, when you just give me a decent enough line to block for me, I can show you what I can do. In 40 games with the Chicago Bears, Justin Fields had one 3-game win streak stretch. One. In 3 games with the Pittsburgh Steelers, he has one 3-game win streak. So in 40 games, he has the same amount of winning streaks as he has in 3 games with the Pittsburgh Steelers compared to the Chicago Bears. So who was the problem in Chicago? I'm
And what is
sorry.
Chicago's record? And what is Chicago's record right now? 1-2.
Oh yeah, they did beat the Titans. Yeah. Oh, I just thought
But
about
that
that.
but that was all from the defense. That
Yeah.
was all from the
And
defense.
special teams got a touchdown as well. Yep,
Yep,
special teams
defense and
got one.
special teams. You're
Yeah,
right.
absolutely. No,
So
absolutely. Go ahead.
now now you almost got to put the Bears in the same category as the Cincinnati Bengals when it comes to leadership.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But I will push back on you with that Pittsburgh Steelers. I know you ran down the standings and you know uh, you said how he's the Steelers are going 3-0. These other teams are 1-2. These teams is 1-2. Whatnot.
Mhm.
It ain't about how you start, it's about how you finish. And
You're right.
I personally think Lamar from Pompano Beach down there in South Florida, from a native Floridian like us, I think he had a little bit more to say about that. I definitely think the Steelers are going to make the playoffs. Definitely think they're going to make the playoffs.
Mhm.
But I think the Ravens are going to sneak back in. I think they're going to beat the Steelers twice. And I think they're going to pick that division. I honestly do. Because that's the only way they're going to win that division. They're going to have to beat the Steelers twice. because Steelers are already up 2 games on them. So they gotta beat the Steelers twice, man. They got to. That's the only, in my opinion, that's the only path, bro. What do you think?
They won't beat the Steelers twice. They won't beat the Steelers twice. And let me tell you why. They showed out last night against the Cowboys. You know why? Because the Cowboys can't stop the run. Who have the Cowboys stopped from running the ball all season long? Tell me. The
Alvin
week before,
Kamara.
exactly. Alvin Kamara the week before had 3 touchdowns and over 100 yards. So when you got a formula that you know they can't stop, you go into that game with that formula. Baltimore runs the ball, and that's why they went and got Derrick Henry. But what happens? What happens when you can't run the ball against the Pittsburgh Steelers? Don't forget they still got Cam Hayward in the middle. Don't forget they still got T.J. Watts. What are you gonna do when you can't run the ball? And you think they're gonna beat the Steelers twice?
It's a hot take, man. Because I'm going along the lines of they're going to win that division. So based upon the circumstances, if they are down 2 games in the division, technically right now, you're going to have to beat that division leader more than likely at least twice, because if they're keeping foot and they're still winning their games, the Steelers are still winning their games, and you are still winning your games, but when it's time for you to face the Steelers, you're losing. There's no way you're going to get the division. So you would literally, in my opinion, the Ravens would literally have to beat the Steelers twice. I don't think there's a path to where they beat the Steelers once and they win the division. They'll probably still get in the playoffs, but not win the division. You see what I'm saying? So
Definitely.
maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right, but I don't know. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't
Yeah,
know.
we'll see. We'll see. Just like I say all the time will tell. But I don't see them beating Pittsburgh twice. They may split, but beating Pittsburgh twice, Corey, that's a big chunk to bite off. I don't know if they can beat Pittsburgh twice.
That is. Don't get me wrong now. I ain't putting money on it.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
I don't have my convictions to with my money now to put my money up now. No, 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 no,
Okay.
no. But my gut, my instincts, watching football for decades and decades is like this is the only route. This is the only route they're gonna win the division crown on, at least in my opinion. This is I'm sorry.
I
Unless
agree.
the unless the Steelers lose to the Browns and the Bengals, one of those other teams twice, and lose
Hmm.
2 or 3 other like unbelievably easy games that they should have won,
Hmm.
then that changes the dynamics up a little bit to where the Ravens will open it up for the Ravens. But if the Steelers stay steadfast in the way that they've been going these last 3 games,
Hmm.
the Ravens gonna have to beat them twice. Then they're gonna have to beat them twice. They're literally gonna have to beat them twice.
Yeah,
So
but I don't see that happening, them beating them twice. And then the Cincinnati Bengals are getting beat right now, 31-26. So and the Commanders are driving. So if the Bengals lose this game,
wow.
mm,
Of all
they're
my
gonna have to
wagers,
beat Pittsburgh twice.
I sometimes I think the games are fixed, boy, which I don't think they're fixed. But sometimes when you make wagers and it's like, okay, the Bills game over 45 or under 45. Okay, the Commanders game over 46 or under 46. So it's like it's the Bengals and the Commanders. I was probably definitely gonna be under 46, you know? Nope. They and then with the Bills and the Jaguars, it's like well the Jaguars ain't gonna score that much. So it'll probably be under 45, even though the Bills might beat them 35-10. I'm thinking it'll still be under 45 or under. Bills
Hmm.
at halftime 34-3.
Yep.
It's like,
Yep.
man, none of my wagers. Oh
Yep.
my goodness! And I
And
thought I had hedged my bets. I thought I
it's
had
only
kind of hedged them, and nope,
it,
still.
it, it's only us betting men that would even question if the game is fixed or not. Because somebody that's not betting, we only going off of what Vegas puts out there. And when it comes out to where I would have taken the under on both of these games, if I were to place any kind of bet through Vegas, I would have taken the under in both of
Same,
these games.
yeah.
Right now, there's 55 points that scored, 57 points that have been scored in this Commanders Bengals game. I would have never said that. I would have never thought that. For one, I would have never thought the Commanders would have scored that many points. But the Commanders have 31 points on the board right now, and they're driving. Jaden Daniels looks incredible.
Darn. And you know,
Jaden,
the only wager that I picked the damn Commanders on is under the because I parlayed it with the Bills game. So I had
Mhm.
both games under 45 with the Commanders covering the spread or whatnot. But both of them were under, so I lose on that. So all five of my damn bets, I'm like, wow.
Mm.
All because all because I did two. I did two over 45 with the Bills, but the
Mhm.
but with the Bills game, I did under 45 with all of them with the parlay there. It was all of them are under 45. So that's why I was
Oh,
like, wow, I lost all my bet. Like I did not
oh.
see that game doing that, bro, and
Mm-mm.
just kind of like, anyways, I want to get too downtrodden now that I hear the scores. Now I'm just kind of like,
Yeah,
wow.
I didn't see this Commanders game going the way it was. I thought Trey Hendrickson would be such a disruption for this rookie. Nah, nah. This rookie is looking like everybody expecting Caleb Williams to look in Chicago with all the talent that he has around him. But
Speaking, I'm glad you said about Caleb because that was the next topic. It was the Colts and Bears game. It was in the Indianapolis, and the Colts pulled it out. Caleb Williams throws a red zone interception, I believe. He wasn't on the goal line, but it was a red zone interception. Uh, Anthony Richardson throws a goal line interception because they were basically on the goal line. They're like on the 3 yard line or so, and he
mhm.
throws an interception. He impresses me, but he disappoints me at the same time. Anthony Richardson, meaning
I
that
think he just needs more time. I think he's gonna be okay, and I think he needs the right plays called because when you got him and Jonathan Taylor in the backfield, and you got the best run blocking offensive line, why are you even trying to throw the ball anyway?
yeah,
Why
like
are you even
seriously,
trying to throw the ball anyway? You got to set your players up for success. You got one of the best run blocking offensive lines in the league, and you try to throw the ball on the goal line or inside the red zone, inside the 10. I would say you try to throw the ball.
yeah,
That makes
yeah.
no sense. I don't. What are you
I,
trying to do? Catch them off guard? No, no. You can't. You got to line up to where they know you're going to run the ball, and you run the ball. What do
yeah,
you think Baltimore did all day yesterday?
stuffed it
Baltimore
down
played.
the
Baltimore played with two backs in the backfield and two tight ends on the field all game long. You know they're going to run the ball.
yeah. Yes.
Stop it. And I think that's the way the Indianapolis coach should be right now. You know we're going to run the ball. Stop it.
Stop it. Absolutely. Put eight
Stop
men
it.
in the box. Put
But
eight men in the
you got all
box.
these coordinators who are going off of analytics who have never played the game of football. Now they just look at it as something that's spit out by a computer instead of just knowing the game of football. You actually getting things from artificial intelligence. No, know the game of football. You have one of the best run blocking offensive lines out there. You got Jonathan Taylor behind a 6'5", 245 quarterback who runs a 4.40. Run the ball. Run
Unbelievable.
the ball.
Yeah, his ineptness for me was a little I hear what you're saying. He needs more time. His ineptness. I seen him driving the ball. I seen him with the ball for a little bit. He doesn't. I don't know. I think I'm starting to think maybe it is the play calling
Hmm.
because he needs to run a lot more read options. He needs to run
Exactly.
a lot more just straight up
Exactly.
with Jonathan Taylor because you gonna be on your heels a little bit because of Jonathan Taylor. Now he has that defense being on the heels. He has the potential to, since they are on their heels, boom, come at him. Because you
Exactly.
don't know which, you know what I mean? You don't know who's getting it,
Exactly.
who's getting it. So
Exactly.
I guess
I couldn't.
that to his ineptness, to be fair to him, I think I'll take that back and say I think his play calling is questionable, and they really, really, really need to utilize him in the best way that he needs to be, used, and it's not
Mhm.
showing right now. Even though they got the win, because I wanted to talk about Caleb Williams. Even though the Colts got the win, I still wanted to talk about Caleb Williams not impressing me. Not impressing me. He had like two or three throws that I was like, oh, that's all right. But
Mhm.
as in throughout the entire rest of that game, I was like, he's got DJ Moore. He's got another receiver. He's got a decent enough old line. They went there, I think, got some people. So he's got decent enough old line. It ain't like, there's scrubs on that line. And he's got a
Yeah.
decent enough running back. They got him a running back or whatnot. And it's like
Mhm.
something you said a couple weeks ago, first week of the season, I believe. You said, did Caleb Williams show you anything, or did he, you know? And I said, no. And you said something to the effect of, yeah, well, when he does lose, it's going to really be because, he lost because of all the help around him. It's starting to show. And for me, I was not, my main take from that game, I was not impressed, sir. What do
He
you
has
think? Well,
he
are you
has
impressed
D,
with Caleb Williams?
he has DJ Moore, Keenan Allen,
Keenan Allen, that's right.
and he has Swift in the
Yep,
backfield, and
yep.
he can't score a touchdown. I'm not impressed with Caleb Williams. I've never been impressed with Caleb Williams. Even when he was at USC, it was
Hmm.
it wasn't him personally. It was the offense. It was the system. He's a system quarterback. Imagine if the Chicago Bears would have given Justin Fields everything that Caleb Williams has right now.
Whew.
Imagine. Everybody expected Caleb Williams to come in and be this dynamic quarterback. But when he was at USC, it was a system. That's why he followed the coach from Oklahoma to USC. It was a system. He's a system quarterback. He makes no extra plays, he makes no one better than what they were. The system made everybody better. Now that he's in Chicago and playing the pros, he no longer plays in that system. Although he has great talent around him and great leadership around him, he doesn't have that same system. Now we're starting to see the true Caleb Williams.
Uh, do you think, just my opinion, or I should say, just my thought, I'm starting to think that the Bears are having a little buyer's remorse. It'll go into a little bit more into fruition further in the year if they continue to lose.
Hmm.
But I'm just starting to think. Not that they think that they maybe should have got Drake May or this quarterback or that quarterback or that quarterback. I just feel like based upon them having that number one overall pick and all the help that they put in front of him and lined it up for him, so to speak, and to show what he's to see the showing that he's showing it's like what what the hell did we do? What the hell
I
did
actually
we
thought
do?
Chicago should have traded that number one pick. They should have traded that number one overall pick because they had the number three pick as well.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I thought they should have traded that number one overall pick, keep Justin Fields, and build around Justin Fields because the Bears are 1-2. Justin Field and the Steelers are 3-0.
Mm-hmm. Damn.
So I think they should have traded that number one overall pick and got more help for Justin Fields because
Yeah.
Caleb Williams wasn't the answer. Right now, Caleb Williams isn't even the best starting rookie quarterback in the league. Jaden
Right.
Daniels is the best starting quarterback in the league right now as a rookie.
Oh yeah. Easy. Easy. I
Easy.
mean, he impressed me last week with that win over the Giants as a rookie, just grinding it out and getting his team down there for that field goal or whatnot, just grinding it out, man. Like,
And wait until you see
you need those games from your rookie quarterback. You need those games.
wait until you see the highlights of this game right here.
Oh wow, I'm definitely gonna catch him here. Down.
Jaden Daniels is the truth. The Commanders will be for real for years to come because of Jaden Daniels. Mark
Yeah,
my words, the kid is good. The kid
no,
is
I
good.
agree.
Caleb Williams, oh, and maybe Chicago's just cursed. You know what I mean?
They've
I don't know.
never
Maybe
really done a good job with quarterbacks. I mean, their history shows. I mean, the last time they had a decent enough quarterback, I think Jim Harbaugh played in Chicago when he was in the league for a few seasons. But since Jim Harbaugh, really, Rex Grossman got him to a Super Bowl. But I mean, is anybody talking about Rex Grossman? Let's be
nope,
honest. No.
no,
Okay. And when
no.
is the last time that you could think of that Chicago Bears? It was like, man, that quarterback in Chicago, the way they developed him, man, wow. Mitchell Trubisky, that horrible pick.
Who's the backup?
Horrible
Who's the
pick.
backup in Buffalo right now?
Yep. Horrible pick.
He's a lifelong backup. Oh wow. The Commanders just scored a touchdown. The score is 38-26.
I won't win no damn money tonight. Damn. That's unbelievable. That
Yeah.
is truly unbelievable, man. That this game went the way it went.
Nobody
God,
expected that.
that's
Nobody
crazy.
expected that one, Corey.
No, no. I mean, looking at the odds, I was like, man, these are pretty good. Out over here, under here. Oh man, this is good. Oh man, this is good. This is easy. You know what happened to me though? You know what happened when you win a little money? You get a little big for you, too big for your britches, as they say down south. Old
Because
time. A lot of people, a lot of young kids out there that might watch this, they might say, "What the hell are y'all talking about? Too big for your britches?" That mean your pants, people. Okay, but that's
yep.
what the old timers used to say when I was a little boy coming up. Your brick core, you done got too big for your darn britches, boy. What do you
It's
mean,
easy
Mom?
to play, but it's easy to play
Look.
with house money. It's easy to play with house money. You can
So
take
look, let me
chances.
tell you about
You can take chances with house money.
Let me tell you about what happened, people. Okay, I pick a 4-game parlay. My first 3 games are in the early window. In my fourth game, guess who I picked? The Panthers. So the Panthers scored a touchdown. They go up one touchdown. They go up 7-0. I look at my Hard Rock app. It says early cash out. Now the payout, if I would have won, was darn near $40. But they say, oh, early cash out, $18.99. I'm like, wow, I ain't won nothing yet since I've been betting. You know what I mean? Almost $20. You know what I mean? That's like, and
Yeah.
I don't know about them Panthers if they're gonna keep this lead because they've been trash the first 2 weeks, and they end up winning by like 14. I said, so I ended up cashing out early and cost myself $20. I
Wow.
said, because I was
But
playing, like you said, I was playing with a little. Well, that wasn't house money, but I was playing with a few dollars. So I won a little money, and that bet was only like that wager was only like $2. It was only like $2. So I'm like, man, I'm making out good. Let me just get it. So I done cashed out that early, right? And then I done went for the games today. I'm like, man, I'm gonna parlay this, parlay. I said, man, this game gonna be under 45, under 46. Ain't no way. I'm gonna make even more money tomorrow. And the Commanders, I only picked them one time, and that was just to cover the spread. I didn't even pick them once to win.
wow.
Um, I'm like, oh, how do I do that, man? How do I do that? And then each time you tell me about Jaden Daniels, now I'm gonna bring this up, people, to say each time you tell me about Jaden Daniels tonight, it's like I cringe more and more just thinking of the $5, $6, $7 that I lost. I ain't lose no big amount of money because I ain't no big gambler. I got a wife and kids. Can't be
Oh
doing that
yeah.
kind of stuff. You gotta kind
You
of get
just
in where you can get in, wager
yeah.
where you can wager.
You just lost lunch
That's
for the
it,
day. You just
huh?
you just lost lunch for the day. You're gonna have to brown
Yeah,
bag it for
that's
the day.
it.
That's it. That's it. You just lost lunch.
That's
That's all.
it. But that's where I wanted to end that, and that is in Carolina. The Carolina Panthers stun. I'm gonna say not shocked, but they stun the Vegas Raiders in Vegas, and they beat them handedly. They were up by as much as I believe 21 points. They were up by as many as 3 touchdowns, people. So nobody, I don't think AP seen that coming, and he had some interesting comments after the game saying that some people went into business for themselves and made some business decisions, and he said that so moving forward, we're gonna make some business decisions.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, And what people are saying is that it might have been Devontae Adams that he was talking about. I don't know. What do you think about the Raiders? What do you think about the Raiders? What they got going on, and the Panthers surprising everybody in week 3?
I don't think it was Devontae Adams that he was talking about. I think it was the quarterback. It was Garner Minshew that he was talking about because right now I seen something come out in the press earlier that they're thinking about benching Garner Minshew and starting the other quarterback
Aiden
this week.
O'Connell.
Yes. No, not even Aiden O'Connell. Um,
Well, that's who
there was
came in the
another
game yesterday. Oh,
there was another name that they mentioned. Maybe it
oh,
was Aiden O'Connell, but
okay.
I think he was talking about the quarterback position. And I agree with him there. Garner Minshew has been a lifelong backup. He's nothing more. If you're looking to be competitive in a division, um, he's not going to take you over the mountaintop.
That's true.
He'll keep you competitive, but he's not going to take you over the mountaintop. But I don't think he was talking to Devontae Adams. But I also
Making a
told you
business
last week.
decision though. Why would he say that he's seeing people making a business decision, as if Gardner Minshew was not doing or working hard or wasn't trying to win? I guess I didn't
I don't
understand
think
that.
I don't think his Gardner Minshew's work ethic. I think his ability to make the offense better and complete passes when he has to complete passes and make the best out of a not so good situation. You got Devontae Adams on your team. Even if you throw the ball to him 100% of the time, guess what? He's going to be open 85% of them. So you got to be able to see the field and see the game as it's coming to you. I don't think Garner Minshew has ever been able to do that. I think he's been blessed in opportunities and given opportunities because he was a backup in the situation to where that starter got hurt. But no, I think AP is a really good coach. I think his business decision right now comes down to the quarterback. And I think that's going to make everything a little bit better for him. But I also told you last week about the Carolina Panthers. We're going to see what the Red Rocket does when he gets in there because the Red Rocket is a proven NFL quarterback.
The red rifle, you mean, right?
Red Rifle. Yes.
Andy Dalton.
Andy
Andy
Dalton. The Red
Dalton.
Rocket was Roger Clemens in baseball. But the
Yeah,
Red
it sure
Rifle.
was. Yeah, the
And I told you last week with a real quarterback in that team, they could look totally different. They looked totally different.
Here's the thing. I got to speak on this. What are we doing, Carolina? Y'all couldn't see that Andy Dalton was clearly better than Bryce Young right now? That he could clearly command the offense? You cannot tell me that when you've seen those first 2 games with Bryce Young under center, and that one game that you just seen yesterday with the Red Rifle under center, you
Mm-hmm.
cannot tell me that you seen them both practice, you seen them both, and you said, you know what? Bryce Young is just way better than Andy Dalton. There ain't no way. The way Andy Dalton was reading the coverages, the way Andy Dalton was seeing the field, because he's a little taller at that, you should have absolutely last year started with Andy Dalton. If Andy Dalton would have gotten into any trouble, okay, go with the rookie, give the rookie a little reps. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry. There ain't no way from what I seen yesterday with the Panthers, there is no way that Bryce Young should have started the first game of the season last year. I'm talking about last year. That
Mm-hmm.
was ridiculous. And that speaks volumes in my opinion, the incompetence of the organization. Okay? You
Not
don't
the
make those decisions.
not the organization, the owner. The
Oh, tell
owner. Because you remember the owner was the one that wanted to draft
Bryce
Bryce
Young.
Young anyway. Nobody on the coaching staff agreed with that, but he wanted
Frank
to
Wright
take
did
him.
not want him. Frank Wright did
Exactly.
not
So
want him.
coming into this season, the head coach that they have now had to give it a chance because you got the owner breathing down your neck. You got to give it a chance. You got to make the best out of a situation. Although you see the difference in practice, you see the difference in the quarterbacks, you see the different commandments that they have on the field. You got to give this kid a chance because you have a boss as well as a head coach, and that's the owner.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm going to
Absolutely.
give him this chance for these first few weeks, and I'm going to show you when I actually put the red rifle in that it's going to be a totally different outcome.
Mm.
And they beat Las Vegas in Las Vegas, who were just coming off of an upset against the Baltimore
Yes.
Ravens.
Yes. Yes,
This,
man. That
this, the owner
and
of the
they beat
Carolina
them in
Panthers.
Baltimore. The
Beat
Raiders
them
beat
in
them
Baltimore.
in Baltimore.
Beat
That's
them
what
in
made it even
Baltimore.
more shocking. It's like, oh,
Yes.
whoa, boy.
Beat them
So,
in Baltimore.
to have that type of letdown in Vegas against the Panthers that had given up all those, 70 something points in 2 weeks? Come on, man. Come on, y'all. They gave up 70 points in 2 weeks, and they turned right back around and beat the Raiders by 14 on the road.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
so what you're saying is, you're saying that you think that it was Tepper last year that made Frank Wright start Bryce Young from the first game, as
Oh
opposed to
yeah.
letting Frank Wright start
Oh
the Red Rifle?
yes, definitely. Definitely.
Dang. Wow, that was a bonehead. Oh,
Definitely.
if that is the case, that was such a bonehead move.
Definitely.
I'm
That was the case.
serious. I don't know what to say there, man. That well, you see what the owner is about. You see his character
Hmm.
throwing a drink on a fan. I don't give a damn how mad that fan got you. You're a billionaire. You're a billionaire,
Yep.
and that's what you thought to do. You thought that that would have been okay. You thought that was going to look nice.
But you
Sure,
know what,
and
Corey?
have a good representation for your team
The
as the
truth hurts.
owner. I
The
was
truth hurts.
disgusted.
The truth hurts. And when you got a fan standing there telling you
Dude, that hurts.
the truth hurts. The truth
Absolutely.
hurts.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, man. Oh man. You know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb here. If Andy Dalton, because I don't know what it was, but it looked like the O line was manageable.
I
It,
don't
it
think the
seemed
O
like
line was
the
a
O line
problem.
was at least manageable for Andy Dalton. I don't
I
know. It
don't
just seemed like
I,
he.
I don't think the O line has ever been a problem. When you got a 5'9" quarterback that can't see over him, that's the problem.
Hmm, that's true. Yeah, that's 5'9". Yeah, that's rough.
That's
That
the problem.
Kyler
That's
Murray's
the
five
problem
eight,
right
ain't
there.
he? Kyler Murray's
Oh,
5'8", ain't he though?
who?
Kyler Murray.
Um.
He's 5'8".
Well, he's 5'9 3/4. But Kyler Murray also has an offensive coordinator that gets him out of the pocket, so he doesn't have to see over those big offensive linemen.
Uh,
There's a
you got to
difference
roll him
there.
out. Just like
Yes.
they used to roll out Russell Wilson and Drew Brees. Drew Brees
Yes.
was more of a pocket, but Drew Brees could roll out,
But
when he needed
even when
to.
Drew Brees was in the pocket, he didn't take 3 and 5 step drops. He took 7 step drops.
Yeah, yeah,
That's the difference.
yeah. Took seven.
That's
Yeah.
the difference.
So you think that Bryce Young should have been given more drops, as in a longer drop, as in a 7 step, or what do you think?
I think he should have been given more drops because he's not as athletic as a Kyler Murray.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So he's a pocket quarterback. So you got to give him more drops than you do by getting him outside the pocket and let him execute. Kyler Murray can give him drops and get him outside the pocket to make something happen. You
Mm,
can't do that with Bryce Young.
mm. And moving, last question. What do you think, or how do you think Bryce Young is feeling after yesterday's game? Mm. Like how can you feel? What is emotion can you show after you looked abysmal the last 2 games? And don't get me wrong, you ain't got the best supporting cast, but you got a, I guess, decent enough supporting cast now. You know, what do you think? How do you think he felt? I should say.
Only thing I can say is he's a man of faith.
Yeah, he is. He did say that.
He's a man of faith. That's the only thing I can say. I can't say how he feels, what is going through his mind right now. He's a man of faith. And if he continues to trust God, everything's going to work out for him. I can't say how he feels as a NFL athlete, how he feels as a professional. I can't say that because I've never been in that spotlight. He's a
Can I
man
ask
of
you
faith.
this question then? how do you think he should feel? Can I get an answer from that? How do you think he should feel then? Your opinion. Just your opinion.
It's even hard to answer that question how he should feel because I don't think he was put in the best position.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
I don't think he was put in the best position. I think he was forced in as a starter, as the owner, because he wanted to be so right. I don't think he was put in the best position to be successful.
Okay, fair.
So I can't fairly answer that question.
All right. I mean, that's fair enough. I can respect that. Yeah, I mean, makes sense what you're saying, what you're trying to say. I get it. I get it all. Trust me, I really, really do. I get it.
Yeah.
Um, well, guys, people out there, that does it for us here today at Koi Sports Corner. Again, we are committed to getting content out to you guys. We had a lot to get to today. That's why normally Mondays is really the hot topics and the Monday Night Football preview, but we had to make sure that we covered the games from yesterday. We didn't want to
Mhm.
short you guys. So on Thursday, we're going to get back here at Koi Sports Corner, and we're going to talk about the upcoming college football games that are key games that are noteworthy. We're also going to discuss the Thursday night football game itself. I believe the Cowboys face the Giants, so that's
Yep.
going to be interesting there. And we're going to have the discussion. I don't think I forgot. We're going to have the discussion. Todd, my co-host TP, said Andy Reid will go down as the greatest head coach in NFL history. I have something to say about that.
We
And
will
if you guys want to
talk.
hear what I have to say, you will hear it on Thursday night. Okay, we're gonna get back here, preferably between 7 and 8:30 ish. We're gonna try to nail it down, but guys, we have live, we have wives, we have kids, we have a
Yes.
lot going on. But I can promise you guys, we will be back Thursday night. It will not be too late, and we're gonna get you some good content out here. Okay, all right. This for me, for my co-host Todd, which he's gonna let you guys know Saranara on his own. But just speaking for him right now, we say see ya and take care. And until next time, we love you.
All right. Be good, Coy.
Thanks, man. You take care, Todd, man. Appreciate you again, man.
No problem.
Yes, sir.